Hi friends, thank you for coming back to Harmony Yoga again to explore a little more in your body and your mind and your spirit here on our mat. My husband and I went down to the dam the other day, and it was really mesmerizing to sit and watch the craziness of the flow and the huge waves coming out from the dam. Literally we stood there for moments just watching the crazy activity of the water, and it reminded me of the crazy activity of my mind sometimes. And then just a few feet downstream, the water became very clear, very calm, very mesmerizing. And I have these videos. I'm going to post them to my Harmony Yoga Facebook page. So please go to Harmony Yoga. You can find that by going to Julie Farmer on Facebook, connecting over to Harmony Yoga, like that page, and I'll post those pictures over there. It was really quite amazing. And then there's actually a 3-minute meditation to that water if you want to do that on your own later. You'd be surprised what 3 minutes can actually do to your whole perspective, your whole way of thinking. So I say that because today we're talking about what happens when we come to our yoga mat. And in the midst of all that is going on in our lives, do you notice how resilient you really are? Are you starting to notice yourself shifting maybe from that crazy type of activity in the water that we saw that represents what's going on in our mind, to just giving it a little bit of time? And we as human beings really are resilient. I think we don't give ourselves enough credit for that. So yoga, when we're on our mat, we are challenged physically, sometimes even emotionally, or mentally. Maybe we just want to leave. We don't want to stay on the mat. And I remember my teacher Marsha always saying that yoga really begins at that moment where you just want to leave, but you stay. And that's where the growth really happens. Now that doesn't mean you stay in a position that is harmful or hurtful to you. You always need to be listening to the body, and the body will guide you. The body is super intelligent if you just let it speak. So pain can be a guide to guide you out of a posture into something that's maybe a little more beneficial for you. So go ahead and close your eyes, and we're going to do a little bit of breath meditation, and I'm going to kind of guide you through a little bit. So if you just close your eyes, and by all means, if that's not comfortable for you, just soften your gaze. There's no need to make yourself uncomfortable. So if you'd rather just kind of soften the gaze and look softly at what's in front of you, maybe out a couple feet in front of you at the floor, or for me, it is easier to just close my eyes. I start to tune out of the stimulation around me, and I can start to tune into the breath. So whatever is most comfortable for you. Sitting up nice and tall, and hopefully you're up on something to make sitting on the floor work for you, or you can always do this sitting in a chair. So you don't have to come to your mat yet. If you want to sit on a chair to do this meditation, just bring your feet down onto the floor in front of you. Feel free to put some books underneath your feet if that helps you sit a little more comfortably. Sitting all the way back in the chair, or in this case, all the way back on your mat with your low back lifted, your heart lifted, the throat back, so the chin is level to the floor. And if you've got your eyes open, you're just softly gazing out in front of you. So keep breathing and inhaling, getting tall, and exhaling, settling into this posture. And I'm going to read to you a little bit here and see if this is helpful to you to begin to quiet the mind. How you choose to respond when you are challenged on the mat will likely be the same way you respond when being challenged in life. Do you fall apart? Do you give up? Or do you brush yourself off and try again, laugh, and honor yourself in the process? As we come to the breath, breathing into the back body, we fill in the lung tissue in the backside, behind the heart. We fill in the back body from the waistline through the kidneys and all the way up, and then lean slightly back. Feel the universal energy like a warm blanket. That energy is never not there. It's always there if you're willing to accept it. Sitting quietly and breathing deeply. Reflect on your level of patience, and then notice that begins to grow as you give yourself space to be resilient, to accommodate. And then ask yourself, do you honor yourself by showing patience as you grow in this thing called yoga? Now, Jon Kabat-Zinn is an author of a book called Wherever You Go, There You Are. And he says, "For it is in taking up yoga and meditation, we are cultivating the quality of patience every time we stop and sit and become aware of the flow of our own breathing. And this invitation to ourselves to be more open, more in touch, more patient with our moments naturally extends itself to other times in our lives as well. We know that things unfold according to their own nature. We can remember to let our lives unfold in the same way. We don't have to let our anxieties and our desire for certain results dominate the quality of the moment, even when things are painful. When we have to push, we push. When we have to pull, we pull. But we know when not to push too, and when not to pull. Through it all, we attempt to bring balance to the present moment, understanding that in patience lies wisdom, knowing that what will come next will be determined in large measure by how we are now. This is helpful to keep in mind when we get impatient in our yoga or meditation practice, or when we get frustrated, impatient, and angry in our lives." With the awareness of the back body, deep in the breath. On your next exhale, feel yourself settle in one more time. Notice where you might be holding tension and breathe into that space one more time. And then feel free to set a personal intention for today's practice. Taking another deep breath in and out. Begin to open your eyes, come back to the space, and then we're going to come to a standing position. So moving your things off of your mat, place your block toward the front of your mat, clear your blanket off. And for right now, we're going to stand feet hips width apart and toes lifted and separated, bending the knees and moving the thighs back. Inhaling, reaching the arms up to the sky, and lean over toward the right. Push down more through your left foot. Good. Inhale back to center and exhale over to the other side. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhaling up and exhaling over. Inhale up, exhale over. One more time. Deep breath in, letting that breath come all the way through the body. Up on the inhale and down on the exhale. Good. Back to center. Bring your hands to the top of your thighs, bend your knees, lift the heart forward, lift the gaze, sticking your hips back. That's the big inhale, and then exhale, you're going to scoop the tailbone forward, drop the head, look toward the chest, or look toward the belly. Stretching up through the crown one more time, and then go the opposite way. Going with the breath here. So this is a standing cat-cow. This would be the cow posture, where the front of your body is broadening, and then the cat posture is the front of the body is turning inward and the back body is expanding. Good, and come forward, or come to standing, I should say. And then grab your block, place it to the front of your mat. Feet parallel and hip width apart. Inhale, lift up to the sky. And exhale, move the hips back. Exhale, bring your hands to the block. Inhale forward. And exhale, release down. Do that one more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Bring your hands to your hips, elbows to the sky. Inhale and rise. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, bend your knees and sweep your hands down and back up. Do that 2 more times here. You're going to exaggerate the body as much or as little as you like. You're going to listen to what's going on inside of your body today. Good. Let's do 1 more. Sweeping the hands. Good. And inhale up. Move your hips back. Reach your hands forward and come into chair pose. Now, if you're doing this with a buddy, you can observe the social distancing. Grab wrist to wrist, and you can do this with each other. Good. Inhale, come to standing, and we're going to give ourselves a chance to do that 1 more time. Let the hands come down. Exhaling. Inhaling up. This gives you a chance to reconnect with your partner if you've got one. I'm reaching out to you, moving the hips back. Pretend you're grabbing a hold of somebody's wrist and pull back. Let the weight come into your heels. And then push all the way up. Release the hands. Grab your strap. If you don't have one, you can interlace your hands behind your back. But grabbing the strap right now helps open up the shoulders as we get started today. So feet are parallel, hip width apart. Attempt to pull the strap apart. Opening through the chest and the collarbones, opening the shoulders, straightening the arms, maybe even coming into a forward fold, letting the arms reach up toward the sky. The shoulder blades move down the back. Good. Bending the knees. Inhale, come to standing. All right, go ahead and come down to your knees. We've got a couple postures to do here. Hands right under the shoulders, knees under the hips, curling the toes under. We'll do a kneeling cat-cow, dropping the belly on the inhale and exhale, round up. The same thing we just did from a standing position. So if you've got some tension up in your neck, this is a great way to add some traction here as you scoop the tailbone, release the head. Good, 1 more. Back to all fours. Take your right hand over to the left side. Whoops, I guess I'm doing one thing and saying the other. Come over to the left side, dropping down onto your right shoulder. Left fingertips come onto the left hand comes onto the fingertips, elbow up toward the sky. Take a deep breath here, even though you're twisted. Exhaling, come out of the posture. We'll go over to the other side. Elbow up toward the sky. Feel the earth move you downward. Good, and come up. Take your knees wide, big toes touching. Sit yourself back into child's pose. Stacking your arms using the block or finding the floor with your forehead. Again, allowing the earth to move you downward. And then extending your arms out in front, curling the toes under, lift yourself up to a little puppy dog, bending the knees, moving your hips back. Then begin to come into down dog by lifting the hips. Your legs don't have to straighten. If they do, fine. If they don't, fine. Spreading the fingers wide, press down through the fingertips, lift and separate the toes, press down through the ball of the big toe, lift the outer armpits. I'm hoping that didn't just, my earbud fell out. Let's make sure I didn't stop recording. Okay. All right, so we're back in down dog. Bending the knees, lifting the hips, going back and forth here to see what feels right for you. Maybe even just bending one side and straightening the other, bending both and then switching. That's a nice little warm up. Good, and walk yourself forward, forward fold. Inhale, lift the head and heart forward. And exhale, release down. Inhale, hands all the way up to the sky, and bring the hands to the heart. Inhale, reach up. And exhale back down. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale down. Inhale, step the right leg back now to deep lunge. Bring that left knee right over the left ankle. Move your hips side to side. The next time you come out, pushing your hips way out to the left, stay there. Let your forearms come onto the block or to the mat here. Straightening your back leg. Come up, release the block. Step back to downward facing dog. Swiveling the heels over to the left, look under your right armpit. Come back to center and swivel the heels to the right, look under the left. Come back to center. Now you can always drop your knees down and grab that back leg and swing it around and through, straightening the back leg. Or from down dog, you can step the foot forward or raise it and swing it forward. And either way you do that, there's no right or wrong way. Now when you get here, move your hips side to side. And then when you come over to the right, stay there, grab your block, place your elbows down on the block. Exhale and release, keeping that back leg straight. Good, and rise. Bring the block back forward, step forward, forward fold. Bring your hands to your hips, elbows to the sky, inhale and rise. All right, how are we doing? I always ask when we go through those sun salutations, that's what this is called. Inhale, reach your arms up, exhale down. The theory being that you could do a couple of these sun salutations as you get out of bed and even before bed at night. Very calming and soothing. It awakens in the morning, it calms and soothes you at night. Inhale, lift forward. Exhale, release down. Step the left leg back to deep lunge. Swivel that back heel down. Push through your feet and come upright, bending into the right knee so the knee is over the ankle. Back leg is straight. Now move your thighs back, scoop the base of your tailbone down, and then elongate the body. Rotate the shoulders back, arms shoulder height, and look out over that right hand. Push into the feet. Feel the ribs move back. Feel the heart lift. Shoulder blades draw together on the back. Good. Bring your hands down. Step back to top of a push-up position. Rotate yourself around in a circle here in your plank. And go the opposite way. And then lower yourself down, bending the elbows, rotate the shoulders up and away from the floor, drag the hands back, reach the heart forward. Press the tops of the feet down, release down, stack your forearms one on top of the other and rest your forehead. Feel the pulsation of the heart, the rhythm of the breath. And then here's a challenge. Let's reach the arms forward, lift the arms and the legs, and then we're going to lower the left arm and right leg, and then switch. And you can go whatever pace feels right for you here, but it's right and left. That's the challenge. Up in the brain. Going faster if you like, swimming. Good, bring the hands next to your chest. Sit back to child's pose. Curling the toes under, lift up to down dog. I have little ears. These AirPods don't want to stay in here. All right, right, so one more time now. We're going to lift the left leg. Remember, you can drop the right knee. Just walk that left foot forward. Swivel the back heel down so your feet are now perpendicular. Hands to the hips. Lift and open the heart. Bending into the left knee. Look out over the left hand. Feel the firmness into the legs, drawing the legs together, moving the hips back. Scoop the tailbone. Warrior two. Nice job. Cartwheel your hands down. Step forward, forward fold. Hands to the hips, elbows to the sky. Inhale and rise. Now, a lot of these postures we're doing today, we've done in the last couple of videos. Sometimes that repetition is nice for you to start to feel like, oh yeah, I know how to do that. And then we'll introduce some new poses as well. So here's one we may not have done already. Stand on your left foot. Interlace your hands behind your right hamstring. And then push your leg into your hands. Feel your hips move back and your heart lift. Lift and separate the toes on that right foot. Hug in toward the midline. So if there was a line that went all the way from the floor up to the sky, right in the middle of your body, you're going to hug into that midline, okay? And then you can stay here or you can straighten that standing leg. Straighten the top leg. And the standing leg's already straight. Good. Bend and release. Let's go to the other side. Interlace your hands the opposite way now. With the non-dominant way, press the thigh into the hands, moving the thighs back. Scoop the tailbone down, lift and separate the toes on that top leg. Balancing, hugging in, that's going to give us that support. Maybe even lifting your gaze a little bit, that will keep you more upright. It'll keep your heart lifted. Straightening that top leg if you like, or just stay right where you are. One more deep breath in. And exhale, release. So let's go ahead and come down onto the floor. We're going to do that same posture on our back. So now you're going to lay back and straighten your left leg. Interlace your hands behind the hamstring of the right leg. So now you've done this before, right? Your body's going to recognize that repetition. Pushing the hand and the leg together, but pushing the foot forward toward the short end of your mat. Let the low back lift up off the floor. Staying here, or you can straighten the leg. Keep pushing the thigh into the hands. So this is very therapeutic for a lot of reasons. It's helpful to the central nervous system. This is helpful to the back when we learn to move the thighs back. The back has a little more freedom. Good. Release. Lengthen both legs. Bring your hands to your belly. Just let go of all effort. So that takes a lot of effort, right? I can feel it in my own body. It's kind of hot in here beside. So just kind of let yourself come back to a resting breath. Noticing perhaps the difference between your right and left side. That's just an opportunity to notice. There's really nothing you're looking for. You're just noticing. And now interlace your hands behind that hamstring on the left side. Lift and separate the toes on both legs. So both legs are engaged when we lift and separate the toes. And then pushing the thigh into the hands. Make sure your arms are still integrated into the shoulder socket. I've made that mistake before where I push too hard and then my shoulder doesn't really like that. So we integrate the arm bones up into the shoulder socket here so we're not pulling too far. So engaging here, pushing though, the thigh, feel the low back start to lift. That means the thighs are moving down toward the earth. And begin to straighten that heel, straighten that leg, pushing up through the heel. And one more deep breath in. Big exhale. Release the hands, release the leg. Pause here one more time with the breath. And then bring your feet down to the earth as wide as your sticky mat. let your knees close together. So that's always a comfortable place to rest if you ever need to rest, if what we're doing is too much, or straightening the legs doesn't feel comfortable. This is also called constructive rest. You're always welcome to be in this posture. And now what we're going to do is gently start to roll the knees over toward the right and then over toward the left, just like windshield wipers. We're going both the same direction. And you're going to listen to what's going on in your body. So notice as we come to the right, what the right leg is doing is doesn't really matter so much. So if it feels better for that right leg to stay up toward the sky, that's your option, or you can let that right knee come out to the side. Good. And then come back to the center and over to the other side. Again, if that left leg feels better, sometimes on our back, our low back, it feels better for that opposite knee to come up toward the sky. So really the stretch is coming now through this right side. So let's go back over to the right. The left knee is dropping, so still the feet are nice and wide apart, and the knee is dropping over toward the right ankle. Now reach your left arm overhead and feel that stretch all the way from your fingertips down to your left knee. Again, playing around, do you like that left knee flat, the right knee flat or right knee up toward the sky? You can decide. It's really all about the left side right now. Good. Let's go one more time over to the other side. So now knees are to the left. The right knee is coming toward the left ankle. Left knee can do what it wants to do. And I'm reaching through that right arm, really getting a good stretch all the way through here. Some difficult muscles to stretch ordinarily are kind of reached through this posture. So this is a good one. Some of the things we're going to be talking about in upcoming videos is about how our body is all interconnected. So sometimes what's going on in the shoulder can affect the lower body and vice versa. So I will be putting on some training videos on different parts of the body, some therapy. I'm not a yoga therapist, but I've got some ideas that might help you in your practice. So watch for those and just be aware that what goes on in our feet can literally affect our shoulders. So we start to have more of a holistic body approach. Okay, hugging the knees into your chest now, rocking side to side. Place the left foot down across the right ankle over the left knee. Interlace the hands behind your left hamstring and straighten that left knee up, or left foot up toward the sky. Pushing your hips down toward the earth, again, integrating the arms into the shoulder socket. So there's a lot of muscle action going on here. This is not passive. Maybe you believe that in your own practice, all of a sudden you realize, oh, this isn't just about flexibility, right? We are gaining strength here by hugging in, working the body in all directions. It's a very balanced approach. Switch to the other side. Interlace your hands behind the hamstring, now the non-dominant finger in front, and then lifting that leg up to the sky, pushing the hips down toward the earth, integrating the arms into the shoulder socket here. Taking a deep breath in, good, and releasing out. Unwind. Lengthen the legs out into your Shavasana position. Calming with the breath. Press your elbows down, lift the chest, open your palms up toward the sky. As you relax, I would like to read to you a little bit more from the book from Jon Kabat-Zinn, and this is actually, he quotes from Lao Tzu. Do you have the patience to wait until your mind settles and the water is clear? Can you remain unmoving till the right action arises by itself? Let me read that again. Do you have the patience to wait till your mud settles and the water is clear? Can you remain unmoving till the right action arises by itself? Being with the breath here. staying here as long as you like. 15 minutes is so good for you, but I honor your time and your schedule today. So what you need to do for yourself, if you want to stay here and just let the video run out, if you'd like to get up, you start to make some small movements with your hands and feet, bringing the knees to the chest, rolling to the right side, and then pushing upright. In whatever position you're in, I just bring my hands to the heart and bow in gratitude for you and for this opportunity to be together today. May blessings abound. May your life be full of abundance, even in these times of unprecedented uncertainty. Blessings. Thank you.